Hello, I'm Brad-Klippert, your 8th District State Representative. I am so honored to be one of your voices in Olympia and grateful that you have given me this opportunity to serve you. I also appreciate you sharing some of your time with me to watch this video update. As you know, the 2017 session was the longest session in state history. We worked hard for the people of Washington State through July. However, the final gavel went down before we could finish our work. We did not pass a capital budget or find a solution to the major water rights issue known as Hirst. I drove back to our beautiful district with unfinished business in my rearview mirror. Since my last video update, we have reached two important milestones. We have passed a bipartisan 2017-19 capital budget and a solution to Hirst. Governor Inslee has signed both of these very important bills into law. This unfinished business is now complete. Let me give you an update on the Hirst solution. The potential impacts we face to our right to water is so important. First, I want you to know that my colleagues and friends, Representative Dave Taylor of Moxie and Representative Vincent Byes of Linden, worked and fought extremely hard for you, your property rights, and access and availability to water. They were two of the key negotiators that brought the bipartisan Hirst solution across the finish line. I want to thank all my fellow lawmakers from both sides of the aisle for working so hard to find this solution. Here's what the final Hirst solution does. First, it grandfathers in existing wells as a legally adequate water supply to obtain a building permit throughout the state. It allows the counties to rely on the Department of Ecology to manage the water without the county doing an independent analysis of water availability before issuing building permits. It implements two new planning processes in certain areas of the state that did not exist before and includes restrictions on water usage for domestic purposes. It requires $300 million over 15 years in bonds for projects in those restricted areas to address stream flow issues. It's a non-appropriated account. I am proud to have supported this important solution. I voted yes for the final Hirst compromise because the original Hirst decision said no water and halted new building permits. Now we have a minimum of 950 gallons per day. The solution removes the burden the state Supreme Court imposed on counties to find legal availability of water so they can once again rely on DOE. This is huge for smaller counties throughout our district with limited resources. Wells currently in existence are grandfathered in. This was a major area of contention for our rural homeowners, fearful the state would either take away their water or require excessive and unnecessary metering. This is not the case any longer. We have many much-needed construction projects lined up and ready to go in our district. This isn't a perfect fix, but allows economic development and will help keep housing affordable in rural Washington State. It gets rid of the ambiguity brought on by the court's decision. The Department of Ecology will create a clear, concise chart so county planners know exactly what's required under water law. It acknowledges the watershed planning work done by several jurisdictions. Counties, cities, and water providers that had the foresight to begin addressing watershed planning years ago should have their efforts taken into account in any Hirst solution. We are able to address stream flows through increased funding. Where this solution isn't perfect, it will bring much needed relief so many counties across our great state can get the water they need. We also passed the 2017-19 budget. This budget funds public works construction projects around our state. Many jobs, construction projects, and businesses faced hardships with the stalemate of this budget. Work can now continue. The capital budget allocates $4.17 billion in total spending, including $2.72 billion in bonds, and leaves $211 million for the 2018 supplemental budget for the capital budget. Highlights include $933 million for K through 12 school construction throughout school construction assistance programs. This allocation will address a record number of local school bond levies across the state. There is also an allocated $35 million for small rural school district modernization grants, $136.5 million for community-based and institution-based mental health facilities, $106.5 million for the Housing Trust Fund, including nearly $25 million for supportive housing and case management services for people with chronic mental illnesses, $5 million for housing projects that benefit those affected by natural disasters, and $5.6 million for housing projects that benefit veterans. We've had a busy first 2 weeks here in Olympia. They have been successful weeks, and I am grateful we were able to pass the capital budget and a solution to Hirst. In closing, please do not hesitate to contact me to share your comments and concerns, or if you have questions about our state government. There are many important issues being discussed in Olympia, and your voice is important to me as I weigh the decisions before us every day. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve you. May God richly bless you and your family. Thanks for watching and listening. Now go out there and have a great Washington day.